after ng pagiging USEC ko, meron ako dapat isang YouTube discussion with Robbie Alampay. It happened naman. Pero yung discussion namin ay tungkol sa specifics ng budget. I think that was a
Yung use of
budget.
data?
Analytics. Oh yeah, use of data. Saan tayo maghahanap ng mga government data para i-analyze. And then, tinanggal siya ng Facebook. Which is kind of weird kasi parang, okay, sino bang awful to from whose perspective? Kaya ganun yung question. Kasi it's about transparency. It's about data. Saan ka maghanap ng data para i-validate at i-check ang gobyerno. So maybe sa gobyernong may tinatago tungkol sa corruption, that'll be awful. But may mga ganong surprising posts sa Facebook. Lalo na, siguro especially yung sa fake news na yan, no? Yung process of validation.
Yeah.
When you say it's fake news or misinformation or even to shut down yung mga accounts naman na intentionally doing disinformation work.
Dagdag ko lang po, Prof. Cielo, naalala ko po dahil dun sa comment nyo, actually you raised an important point kasi interestingly, meron din pong mga government agencies na nagre-report ng content sa social media companies not for violating local law, but for violating the social media company's community standards.
Yes.
So,
Yan ang ginagamit madalas.
So magkaiba po yun, di ba? Na kahit na hindi gawing illegal yung isang type of speech or type of post, i-report po yun ng government agency sa Facebook, let's say, saying na, oh, this goes against your violence and incitement policy, or this goes against your misinformation policy. Ang consequence po nun, magkaiba. Kasi kung yung content po, iti-take down kasi it violates local law, i-geoblock po, yung tinatawag na geoblocking. So, i-restrict yung access sa content sa bansa lang na yun or sa region na affected. Usually sa bansa. Pero kapag it violates the community standards, iti-take down po yun sa buong mundo. So, wider po yung geographic scope kapag the content violates community standards.
I assume may review process when you get a complaint?
Yes, so may review process po for both. So for local...
And how long does it take? Kasi na-resolve ba yung issue mo?
Actually, hindi yung post namin ni Robbie Alampay, hindi pa ako, nagsulat ako about it tapos wala pa ako nakuhang feedback kung bakit tinanggal. But may portion sa Facebook, hindi ko masyado in-explore lahat ng mga tab. Pero may notice ako doon na I violate community standard sa mga post ko. So I was like, alin doon? So, well, up to now...
That's 2 years.
Hindi. Pero may general assessment pa rin ako doon sa isang portion ng sa Facebook ko. Yung mga qualification something. Nakalagay doon. You are not meeting the community standards on ganyan. So parang, alin sa mga post ko, yung hindi feeling ko bait-bait ko nga eh. So,
so part po yan nung tinitingnan namin as an oversight board. So, simula po nung, nagsimula kami like a few years ago, 2019, 2020, ngayon po, kapag nag-appeal kayo sa Facebook, pag na-exhaust nyo po yung appeals process, tapos hindi pa rin kayo masaya dun sa resulta, meron pong option doon na mag-appeal sa oversight board. Yun po yung paraan para makita namin yung apelan from the users themselves.
So how many cases do you have?
So ngayon po, so marami na po kaming cases, siguro 100.
Pero kasi kung globally ang minomonitor nyo,
so we get a lot
global
of appeals.
incidents. Yeah.
We get a lot of appeals po, thousands of appeals per day.
Yes.
Ang problema po, so para po kasi kaming Supreme Court in a way, in the sense that we don't take all. So hindi po kami yung parang appeal mechanism within the platform. So kami po yung pinipili lang po namin, nagse-select lang po kami ng types of cases. Meron po kaming criteria. So isa po sa criteria namin, gaano ba kakomplikado yung policy questions na pinapresent ng ng post na to? Or ano ba yung presidential value nito or yung impact niya sa users around the world?
Yeah.
So may mga criteria po kaming tinitingnan bago po namin piliin yung isang case. Pero ang suggestion ko po para dun sa mga users na nabibiktima ng red tagging, please continue filing an appeal within Meta, and kung hindi po kayo masaya dun sa resulta, you can always file an appeal with the Oversight Board. Nandun po yun, lalabas po yun dun sa notification dun sa kung anumang platform yung ginagamit nyo.
I was actually thinking kasi bigla ako napaisip kung if you're receiving thousands of complaint across the world, bigla ako napaisip kasi data yun eh. I'm wondering kung na-explore nyo na nga yung paggamit ng artificial intelligence in terms of profiling. If you can actually do trending sa number of complaints na nangyayari sa isang bansa. And you can see kung ano yung, kasi Facebook should have a profile kung sino tong mga taong to. So you can actually see at political trend, 'di ba? Kung merong may ganong nangyayaring suppression within a country. And therefore, maybe not to deal with individual cases, but to actually look at trends within countries and even globally. Kasi bigla ko napaisip yung... Hindi, pero naisip ko yung trabaho nila. Ang hirap naman na you deal with individual cases. Tapos pwedeng may outlier, or is this a trend? And that becomes a political question, which I think should be answered and reviewed by the oversight. Because yun nga, sa konteksto ng civic space, hindi ka naman nagtatrabaho as another layer of appeal process ng Meta eh. But kung merong pattern of suppression na nangyayari, halimbawa sa issue ng, it's not just, halimbawa, environment. Makikita mo yung trend din, lahat ng post tungkol sa dam na to, binablock dito sa country na to. And therefore, it becomes more interesting.
Yes, tinatrack po namin yung ganong klaseng data dun sa appeals na dumadaan po sa amin. And meron na rin po kaming process ngayon, yung tinatawag naming bonding. Sorry, yung cat ko, tinatry niyang
It's fine. We want to see the cat.
Kanina pa siya palakad-lakad. Usually, wala siyang pakialam sa akin.
Ang cute!
Oh my God.
Ayan,
Kasi may show.
Gusto yan sumali.
Oo.
So, meron na rin po kaming tinatawag na bundling. So, usually po, sa isang case, meron pong, one case can consist of several posts posted by different users. So, usually po, nangyayari yan kapag kunyari, same content, shinare po ng user, ng maraming users. So, we're exploring ways to bundle other types of posts. So definitely po yung suggestion nyo, that's something we've been thinking about and considering how to expand it further.
All right. I have 2 questions.
Teka lang, bago mag-question, sasabihin ko sana, if you need help sa data analysis, bigla kasing nag-work yung brain ko. Imagine mo, if they're giving you data and this is a global pattern, you can actually do coding eh. Tapos mas madaling monitoring. Tapos you can even look at sectoral and then may time aspect. Yung mga ganon. Mas madali yung magiging buhay nila. Kasi especially on civic space issue.
Which is related to my first question.
Kasi dapat quick response kapag ka human rights issue. Diba? So, okay.
So yung question ko, yung disposition rate ninyo ng cases, how quickly do you resolve tong appeal sa inyo? And the second question before she asks another one, specifically to red tagging, is it only coming from the Philippines or is it a phenomenon that's also present in other countries?
So, yung second question po muna. So I think I agree with Professor Cielo. I think red tagging is a specific Filipino phenomenon, but different manifestations happening in other countries. Yung isa rin pong interesting na nakikita natin in other countries is yung pag-delegitimize ng justice and accountability mechanisms like the ICC or NGOs by questioning their funding sources. So, very familiar, right? So, yan po yung merong mga similarities and overlaps. Although yung red tagging po mismo, I think po it's a distinct Filipino issue. Yung first question po, disposition rate. So, under our governing documents, we have to decide cases within 90 days. In reality po, we go over 90 days. So usually like 100 or 120. And that's usually because of the issues involved and the different the deliberation that a certain issue requires. And I know that's not a satisfactory answer, right? But it is what it is, and we are very we take the criticism very seriously, and we're doing our best to um, decide cases within the 90-day period.